Mother's Day is always a challenging holiday for me. I find myself a little emotional, proud. I wouldn't say sad, just mixed with emotions. As Mother's Day comes upon us, I just think about how over the years I've always thought about how emotional I get. Because I've always focused on having the best relationship with my son, I haven't always had the best relationship with my mom. So to celebrate motherhood has always been a little bit different for me. And that goes in my own reflection and childhood trauma and things that I think about even as an adult. But as a single mom, I constantly think about, all the things that I've been able to do to celebrate. Usually I go out with him and I do things when he was little. Now he's older. And, even though today's not Mother's Day, he does things like this where he makes me breakfast. And so I always think about, you know what? He's celebrating me every day when he doesn't even know it. He's just the type of kid that, does things from his heart. I've raised my son to cook since he was 6. He's been cooking on his own without me since he was 9. Now he's 15. He cooks like chef's kiss. And moments like this where I can have breakfast in bed. His eggs are on point. I just really appreciate the relationship that I built with my son, which a lot of parents don't realize how important that is. Children should be able to come into their own, figure themselves out as who they are. Yeah, there may be things he may be curious about along the way, but to be honest, me having father figures, mother figures wasn't always healthy for me either. It was very toxic. So I've always focused on my son having a healthy environment, and that has had to come with sacrificing relationships, just not being able to focus on someone else, but to focus on my son. And there's going to be people who's going to disagree with this and who think a young man needs another man just to become a man is not being a man. I've seen so many men who were raised by single moms who had healthy relationships, and even though they may not have had their father, they've had inspirations around them, and that is something that I constantly make sure that he has great role models, get great people that are good influences. As far as I'm concerned, God raised my son as the man who he needs to be, through me, with me, around me, because I pray about it so much. I wish that I had parents that did the same, but unfortunately I didn't. When I think about how people see single moms, I'm just like, I wish people could respect a single mom who just loves being single and being there for their son. Because it's not about I don't want a partner ever, but I have had to grow. And I truly believe that God is designing the man for me to marry, for my son to look up to. But until then, there's no one there that is qualified. And I do believe that we all have to go through things, heal in order to be the best versions of us. And I would hate to bring somebody in that is toxic, that doesn't know themselves and unaware, and then be this influence in front of the son that I've raised and been very passionate about making sure he has healthy, strong influences and values and principles that he can live by. You know what I mean? So until then, guys, happy Mother's Day to you single moms who are just doing what they're doing. I just hope that people can see single moms as not just strong warriors, but independent women that truly are choosing to love themselves and love their kids first before any relationship. I wish every mother a wonderful Mother's Day, and just to live how you're supposed to live and not let anyone who thinks, oh, your child needs this and needs that. You are everything your child needs. And that's something that I've had to learn to grow and understand, because it's not always been easy how people look at you and just say, oh, okay, he doesn't have a father. I'm like, listen, I love that my son only has me, because I'm growing and I've had to heal. I've had to learn about myself in a way that until another partner or person can come in and do those things for themselves, they don't know how to love themselves enough to be able to love somebody else. And that's one thing about me being a mom that I value and I love that I've been able to do. So shout out to God for giving me this ability and the opportunity to be the best mother I can be. Look, I got breakfast in bed, and this is not a holiday.